Welcome to episode wow 47b. We're still on Genesis 25. I will finish the last paragraph. Now Jacob cooked a stew, and Esau came in from the field, and he was weary. And Esau said to Jacob, "Please feed me with that same red stew, for I am weary." Therefore his name was called Edom. But Jacob said, "Sell me your birthright as of this day." And Esau said, "Look, I am about to die. So what is this birthright to me?" Then Jacob said, "Swear to me as of this day." So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. And Jacob gave Esau bread and stew of lentils. Then he ate and drank, arose and went his way. Then Esau despised his birthright. Well, apparently Jacob didn't like his brother Esau and was jealous of him and tricked him into selling his birthright to him for a meal of lentils and bread. Who knows what was in the stew? It said it was red, so maybe some tomatoes. Oh, I don't think they had tomatoes over there. I don't know why it was red. Maybe the meat. So that, in my opinion, is bad. I would never trick. I would always feed my brothers. I'd probably feed a stranger. That's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to feed anybody to start my nonprofit, Ozark Hunger Relief. If you want to donate, it's ozarkhunger@gmail.com, and I can give you a tax-deductible receipt because it's a federally recognized nonprofit. I just have to open an office first before I can get food from the food bank. I think I've had nothing but denials, and the other nonprofits in the food bank tease me. The head of the food bank, Ken Eikenberry, I think, came to me. I had an office, laughed at me, said it was too small, that he wouldn't let me get food from his food bank to serve out of my pantry, even though I was going to pay him for the food. Apparently they look at other places as competition. Everywhere I went, I got ripped off by two other food pantries. They said I was a food pantry and he's a food bank. The food pantries have to cooperate with the food bank, and they get no other support unless they get friends and family. Anyway, so about Genesis 25, the importance of the paragraph lies in the disposition of gifts. Abraham made sure there would be no dispute over his goods. After he died, he showed great responsibility here. This is a legacy for any Christian. Abraham walked with God for 100 years. When he died at age 175, Isaac was 75, while Jacob and Esau were 15. Despite a history of bad feelings, his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried their father together as brothers. Full of years can be rendered satisfied, meaning Abraham not only lived long but well and was ready to die. This was a fulfillment of the Lord's covenant with him. Was gathered to his people speaks of blessed reunions in the life to come. I've experienced this. I watched a couple people dying, and one was terrified. He was a bad person. And one was in pain all for days, and then that day it got real bad, eaten up with cancer. And my grandma, Thelma Louise Williams, eaten up with cancer, and she was like crying all day and just uncomfortable. And then all of a sudden, she stopped being in pain, and she looks up at the ceiling, and she's naming off her probably her parents and grandparents and other family members that had died. She's going like this and talking to them and ignoring us right before she died. So when this says was gathered to his people, blessed reunions in the life to come, I know that is true. So if you're a Christian, you'll be greeted by the people of your family that went before you, and they will take you to heaven. The inclusion of Ishmael's genealogy demonstrates that the Lord continued to love and care for Abraham's first son, even though Isaac was the son of the covenant. The genealogy of Isaac is the focus of the narrative. So the story follows the lives of Isaac and Rebekah's two sons, Esau and Jacob. This is the family of promise. The divine word to Rebekah that the older shall serve the younger not only explained the unusual movements she felt in her womb, but also foretold a reversal of patriarchal custom. Esau, the firstborn, would have expected to receive both the birthright and the blessing and have the younger serving him. Jacob means he who grasps. His name also foreshadows the discord that these brothers would bring to the family. So Jacob was the leader, though he was, they were twins. He was 5 minutes younger, maybe 10 minutes younger? So, it doesn't make sense to me that Jacob would automatically be subservient to Esau if he's just 10 minutes younger. They were twins. The birthright, but I guess it was a technicality. They can only be, I guess, one firstborn. The birthright included several privileges: recognition as the oldest son, a double portion of the inheritance upon the father's death, and regard as the leader of the family. The birthright could be given away or sold, but the older son would then lose the later two aspects of the birthright. Esau's choice showed how little he valued these spiritual blessings. So Esau's choice to sell his birthright for a meal was considered disrespectful to the customs of those people and maybe to his parents. So the Bible doesn't like that. So next week we'll continue on with Daniel. I'm probably still going to be in the introduction. It's there's a lot to say about the book of Daniel, so I'm going to continue with the introduction first before I start reading the actual book. And it's very action-packed. Then after that, we'll go back to Revelations. I'm thinking. So I'd like to encourage you to, what we think about, we bring about. Where focus goes, energy flows. Don't think of anything negative. Of course, if somebody dies or your husband or wife leaves you, you're going to be depressed and sad. But try to get over it as quick as possible. You keep thinking about the bad things, you're inviting more bad things will come to you. You've got to cheer yourself up after a little bit of mourning and try to move forward with your goals. I am going to start this nonprofit office and get it going. And that's just the way it is. And if you help, anyone who helps, I'm going to put their picture and a board of recognition. So that they will be acknowledging, because I can't do it by myself. All right, God bless you. Become an organ donor. Give your heart to Jesus. God bless you. Bye.